Hello, geometry students. Let's continue our 6-1 lesson, the polygon angle sum theorems. And this is continued. Our learning targets today, we will prove and use polygon interior angle sum theorem. We will prove and use polygon exterior angle sum theorem. And we will apply those theorems. So yesterday we actually proved them. So today's objective or learning target is more of this third one, applying them to solve problems. Example 4, find an exterior angle measure. If you remember from yesterday, exterior angle measure of all of the exterior angles always adds up to 360 degrees. So, looking at this picture, we have angles 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So when we add angle 1 plus angle 2 plus angle 3, all of the angles, it equals 360 degrees. All of the exterior angles always equal that. In our explanation or our problem, it says suppose that angles 1 and 3 are congruent. That means they are equal to each other. And then they're saying that angle 1 is equal to 3x. So that means that angle 1 equals 3x, and angle 3 must also equal 3x because they're congruent. And angle 2 equals 2x, so I'm going to put that right next to angle 2. And we can see that angles 4 and 5 are a linear pair with a right angle. So these are both right angles as well, because the two right angles make a linear pair straight line of 180 degrees. So now I'm going to go in and fill this in. So angle 1 is 3x. Angle 2 is 2x. Angle 3 is 3x. Angle 4 is 90 degrees, and angle 5 is 90 degrees. Altogether, they equal 360. Let's simplify this by collecting like terms. So all of these x's can combine and become 8x. The 90 plus 90 became 180 degrees. And now we'll just bring down the rest of the equation. Now it's a two-step equation. So I'm going to pause the video and ask you for your input on how do we solve this. For those of you at home, in case you need help, we would subtract 180 degrees. This cancels. This becomes 180 degrees, and this is 8x. Then we have to divide by 8. Let me use my calculator. The 8's cancel, leaving us with x equals, and we divide that as 22.5. We now need to plug that into every x that we have. So angle 1 is 67.5, which means that angle 3 is 67.5. I'm going to write that a little bit nicer. So angle 1 is equal to 67.5. Angle 3 is equal to 67.5. And then angle 2, that would be 45. 22.5 times 2. 45, and let's put degrees on all of these. And we already knew that angle 4 equals 90 and angle 5 equals 90 degrees. Figure that out by the picture. For those of you watching this on your own, notice that in the try it says that these angles are all equivalent, and then angles 2 and 5 are congruent. we have angle 1 is equal to angle 2 plus 30 degrees. So what is the measure of angle 4? Let's use what we know about exterior angles. All of these angles, these 6 angles on this hexagon, are exterior angles. So that means that when we add them all, it will equal, I'm going to add them in this order that they gave them to us in, so they stay together. They'll equal 360 degrees. I put them in different colors because I wanted to group them of what is congruent. Well, angle 3 is equal to angle 2 plus 30. So, if we label these all as x, so let's say that angle 2 is x, and angle 5 is x, then angle 3 would have to be x plus 30. And so would angle 4. So all of these actually would be x plus 30, x plus 30, x plus 30. And then we would add x and x. And all together would equal 360 degrees. Let me highlight these just so you can see what's going on. So these, angle 2 and angle 5, are the x and x. I just called them that to help us solve this problem. And all of these angles, I'm going to color yellow because they came from above and they are all congruent. Okay. Now we can just simplify this and solve for x. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 x's. We have 4 30s, which would be 120. And then we can just bring down our 360 degrees. Now we can solve this using two-step equations. Subtract 120 from both sides. The 120s cancel, so 6x equals, some subtraction, 240. I know that 6 goes into 24 times, so if I divide by 6, I get 40. X equals 40. That means that angles 2 and 5 equal 40. But remember that the measures of angle 3, the measure of angle 3 is equal to the measure of angle 2 plus 30. That was given to us in the problem. It was given. We have to say, well, the measure of angle 2 we called x. So the measure of angle 3 is x plus 30. So you could see that from our other steps. Now let's plug 40 in. So that's 70. That was the measure of angle 3, but that's also congruent to the measure of angle 4. So we can just say that the measure of angle 4 is also equal to 70 degrees. Let me circle that a little better. So for example 5, we are going to find the measures of interior angles. What are the measures of the interior angles of the pentagon shown? So it's a pentagon, meaning that it has 5 sides, so that it has 3 triangles inside. And then that means we're going to do 180 times n minus 2. So n is 5 sides, 5 minus 2. That's going to be 3, and we're going to multiply by 180. And this will tell us the sum of the interior angles. So 180 times 3, let's see, 300 plus 240, that's 540 degrees. And now we have 5 angles. So we have this angle, 1, 2, the right angle, 3, 4, 5. We have to add all of those up and set it equal to 540. 3x plus 4 is this first angle. Then we have 7x minus 3. We have 6x, I'm running out of space, plus 12. I'm just going to continue underneath. And we have 6x minus 3. We have 90 degrees. And that's going to all be equal to 540. But since I wrote all of that there, I want to simplify it. So to simplify it, we're going to collect like terms. I'm going to put all the x's together. 3 plus 7 is 10, plus 6 is 16, plus 6 is 22, so we have 22x. 4 minus 3 is 1. 1 plus 12 is 13. 13 minus 3 is 10. Say that again. So it was 4 minus 3 is 1, plus 12 is 13, minus 3 is 10. And then we have the plus 90. And then we're going to simplify that further to get 22x plus 100. Now we have to set that equal to the 540 and solve it for x. Subtracting 100 from both sides, we get 22x equals 440. Divide both sides by 22, and you would get, let me see, I think it's 20. So x equals 20. And the question said, what are the measures of the interior angles? So we solve for x. This is a lot of steps. So first, we figured out how many degrees. Then we added up all of the angles and simplified it to get x. Thirdly, we have to plug in the 20 to each of these x's to figure out the measure of each angle. And I'm not going to worry about the 90 degrees. I think you guys know that. So 3 times 20 is 60. Plus 4 is 64 degrees. So that angle is 64 degrees. This bottom angle, 6 times 20 is 120 minus 3. That's going to equal 117 degrees. Plug it into this 6, 120. 6 times 20 is 120 plus 12. That is 132 degrees. So I'm going to circle these just so we can keep them straight. And then 7 times 20 is 140 minus 3 is 137 degrees. I should have left more space to work that problem out. All right, let's turn the page. Okay, we're continuing example 5. The measure of each interior angle of a regular 100 gon, that means that n is 100, is 3x plus 26.4. What is the value of x? Okay, so let's see, how can we figure this out? The measure of each interior angle is 3x plus 26.4. That's each angle. So remember, each angle is the one where we do this formula 180 n minus 2 over n, because it's each, not the sum of. So we have to divide by the number of sides. Well, they told us that there's 100 sides, so we're going to plug in 100 to the n. Okay, so I'm going to rewrite this as 3x plus 26.4 equals 180, but instead of n, I'm going to write 100 minus 2 over 100 again, because we plugged in n twice. And now we just need to simplify. So when I have parentheses, I want to distribute. So I'm going to distribute here 180 times 100, just add 2 zeros, and 180 times minus 2 is minus 360, divided by 100, and that's going to be, bring that down, 3x plus 26.4, just bringing that down. Now I want to simplify the right side of the equation. So I'm going to subtract first. Just do that subtraction. We have to line up the numbers. I'm going to have to borrow here, so 10 minus 6 is 4. I borrowed, that's a 9. That's 6. I borrow, that's a 7. And this is what we get. Okay. So simplifying just the top, we simplified this part to get this. So we have 17,640 divided by 100 is equal to, just bring this down again. Now I'm going to simplify by dividing this by 100, which when we divide by 100, it just moves the decimal over 2 places. And I'm going to write that up here. All right. So when I divide by 100, I get 176.40, but you don't have to put the 0. And then I'm just going to bring the left side of the equation with it, 3x plus 26.4. We are going to subtract from both sides. And that's going to give us a nice number. These cancel. Bring down 3x equals, this is 150. And 3 goes into 150 50 times. So I'm going to divide. This is a one-step equation. I divide by 3. And that gives me x equals 50. All right, and if you plugged that in, you could figure out what the angle actually equals. We have a concept summary, what you should remember from this section. We have polygon interior angle sum, and the sum of the measures of the interior angles of a convex polygon is 180 degrees times n minus 2, where n is the number of sides of the polygon. And then they give an example. So this one has 5, so we have angle A, angle B, angle C, angle D, plus angle E equals 180 times 5 minus 2, because remember it has 3. Oh, this isn't a, hold on, did I do this correctly? Oh yeah, I did. 3 triangles. So 5 minus 2 is 3, 3 times 180 is 540. The sum of the measures, theorem 6.2, polygon exterior angle sums. The sum of the measures of the exterior angles. Exterior is the outside, right? And this could be important in construction. Of a convex polygon, one at each vertex is 360 degrees. So no matter what you are adding together, it's always going to equal 360 degrees for exterior angles. And that concludes our notes for section 6-1.